there are two important vocabularies in differential calculus. They are the speed and velocity. So first of all, what is a speed? Speed is equals to distance divided by time. So speed is distance divided by time, and in speed, we do not consider direction. So do not consider direction. So let's say a car travels 80 kilometers per hour. So a car travels 80 kilometers, which is km per hour. That is the speed. That is equals to distance divided by time. That is equals to 80 kilometer divided by 1 hour. So let's say you drive on a highway, you drive 60 miles per hour. So that is 60 mile per hour. So that is equals to 60 mile divided by 1 hour. Okay, so that is a speed. What about velocity? Let's use some other color for velocity. So for velocity, that is not the same as speed. Velocity, what is velocity? So velocity, basically speaking, is speed with a direction. What is a direction? So direction, this is how we draw a direction. So this is a north, south, you have east and west. You have to specify the direction in speed. So what is velocity? We have a formula for speed. What is the formula for velocity? So for velocity, the formula is equals to displacement divided by time. So what is displacement? Displacement is the moving of something or an object from its place or position. So in velocity, we have to consider the direction. So let me give you a very simple picture. So let's say this is your home. Okay, this is your home, and then this is school. And then you are trying to go from home to school. And let's say you can walk on a straight line. There are some buildings or obstacles between your home and school. So you have to take another path. So let's say you start right here. You go up, you go forward, and then you make a turn, and then you go like this. And then you get to your school. All right. So let's say the distance between your home and school is 220 meters. All right. And then what about displacement? For displacement, let me use some other colors. If you, let's say you are able to go through the building, the distance between your home and school. So let's draw a distance right here. Let's say you can go through the building. The actual distance is 130 meters. We will be using both numbers. So let's use the green one, the 220. What is your speed? So let's say in 220 meters, how much time do you need? You spend 100 seconds to go to school. Okay, just an example. I know in real life you need to spend a lot of time to travel in traffic. So let's say you only spend 100 seconds. So what is your speed? Your speed is 220 meters. So that is the distance divided by the time you spend 100 seconds. So what is that equals to? 220 divided by 100. That equals to 2.2, not 22, 2.2. So that equals to 2.2 meter per second. That is your speed. And then what about velocity? So for velocity is displacement. So for displacement, we do not consider the route anymore. For displacement, I only consider the distance between your home and school, which is 130. So let's use 130 meters divided by what? Divided by 100 seconds. What is that equals to? That equals to 1.3 meters per second. Are we done? No, you have to specify that is 1.3 meters per second east. So this direction is east, right? So you have east and you have west. This is south, and then this is a north. So that is the difference between speed and velocity. Now I want to do more things for it. So let's say after school, I'm trying to go home. I have to spend, let's say when I go home, I walk slower because after school I am tired. So let's say I spend 120 seconds to walk home, okay, to go home. What is my speed? My speed is equals to, before we get that, so how much time did we spend? I spent 100 seconds plus 120 seconds equals to 220 seconds. So now my speed, what is the total? The total is still 220. No, the total is, that is from home to school, and then this is from school to home. The total is 440 meters. This is seconds. So that is equals to distance divided by time, which is 440 meters divided by 220 seconds. So that is equals to 2.0 meters per second. That is my speed. What about my velocity? This is very interesting. The velocity, actually, let me use red. My velocity at this moment is equals to 0 meters divided by 220 seconds. That is equals to, what is that equal to? That is equals to 0, right? 0 meters per second. So this time I am going west. Why is this 0? Why is the displacement equals to 0? Because here is the reason. You end up where you started. From point A to point B, the distance is 130 meters. From home to school, you move 130 meters, right? But after school, you go back home. So that means you go back to where you are. Then the displacement is 0. Yes, you move 130 meters away, but at the end of the day, you go back home. So the displacement is 0, because the displacement is the moving of something from its place or position. You go out, you go back, the displacement is 0. So that's the difference between speed and velocity. This is only a basic introduction. All right, so I catch you all in the next lesson.